good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's so nice to see my happy, bubbly, jumping faces here. In the chat, tell me your name and where you're coming in from. Some of the icons that I'm seeing are brand new to me, so I'd love to meet you. Hi, Anna, good to see you. Good morning, good morning. Oh my goodness. It is Saturday, isn't it? It has all the energy and the vibe of a Saturday right now. At least it does in my head. Do you feel like it's a Saturday to you? I'm feeling a strong Saturn urge. Hey, Victor. Hey, how's it going in Dallas? Everything good? Oh, so good to be with you all. Hello, friends, as you continue to pop in. If you're able, tell me your name and where you're coming in from in the chat. I always love to connect with you that way. While we begin to settle in and warm up and connect with the bowls and see what they're singing this morning. I will say, whenever I first sat down with them this morning, Victor and Anik and a lot of our other friends who are here often, they know I spend a fairly good amount of time, usually about half an hour before we start with the bowls, kind of just listening to them, talking with them, allowing them to speak. And they were having, there was a very strong feminine energy when I first sat down and first started, and really connecting with the sounds and the vibrations, and it did feel very celestial, very moon-like today. So I'll be curious to see what comes through in our time together. But oh, Victor, I'm so glad to hear you're doing great. Hey, Christine from Philly. Nice to see you. Hi, Kathy from Pecos, New Mexico. Ah, what a cool state. The land of enchantment. I just feel like there should be unicorns running around New Mexico all the time. There probably are. I mean, roadrunners, unicorns, happy dragons. Well, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'm Charleene, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Every session is so different and unique because it's based on you. It's based on what's going on in the energy in the world and the air around us, and it's based on the energy information that you bring as well. We all have unique biofields, our electrical impulses that we're creating, that we're giving off, our vibe we're creating and giving into the world. And that, that changes every day. Every day is different, not only inside us, but outside us. So our sessions connect what's going on inside and what's going on outside to manifest a healing from a sound vibration standpoint. An opportunity for a healing, an opportunity for you to invite in new or different or missing or needed vibrations to begin to shift your vibe, at least for a little bit. And you can carry that shift with you for as long or as short as you'd like. Just as the winds change, so do our vibrations. But our vibration is always our choice. Sometimes we think we're subjugated to be victimized by something else going on the outside, but the reality is that we are the ones who are the masters of our fate, the captain of our ships, and we get to control that. We get to sail through this life. So to have tools that gently remind us of our own intrinsic power is empowering. So I'm so glad to be with you and to help you connect to some of your own tools. And you're like, well, but you're just playing bowls, but I'm not. So how these sessions work is that, so in front of me, there's 13 chromatically tuned crystal singing bowl, chromatically tuned just like a piano key from one octave to its very top note. So we start at a middle C all the way up to the C above it, and all the notes in between, like the black and white keys on the piano. And each note is tuned to a frequency of 432 Hertz. You've probably heard 432. You might have heard about 528, 444, 440. All these different types of numbers that are floating around. But let me just break it down pretty easily. It is a Saturday morning, and or at least the weekend, wherever you're coming in from, whatever time it is. So 432 Hertz relates to the central tuning frequency of this note, A. If I'm sitting in an orchestra, this would be the sounds that I would tune my violin or instrument, whatever I'm playing, that I would tune to. The concertmaster cues the oboe player sounds in A, and we all tune in so that whenever we play the symphonic setting that's in front of us, there's harmony, there's consonance. And whenever we do decide to have a dissonance, it's very determined and specific, because dissonance creates friction, and friction allows release. So our tuning is based on 432 Hertz, which is a little lower than traditional music. Most music that we hear today on the radio is tuned to 440 Hertz. But that's a whole other discussion with lots of nuances that we do have some upcoming workshops and times together that I'm happy to dive into with you on that, because it's fascinating. Tuning really does make a difference on a lot of levels, and it makes absolutely no difference on other levels. It's all in how we look at it. So why 432 is the cat's meow. And by the way, you may hear cats meowing because we have 4 kitties, and sometimes one of them loves to sing. His name is Henri, and he has been in rare form this morning, so who knows if he's going to join us. But it's based on 432 Hertz because it's directly tuned to the base frequency of Mother Earth, which we know her vibration to sit around 7.83 Hertz. So everything in space, space and space, vibrates. We all have a resonant frequency. Your frequency is unique to you. My resonant frequency is unique to me. And yet there are many places in which they are exactly the same. So 7.83 Hertz, this, if extrapolated up into a Hertz frequency that we can actually hear, this is what Mother Earth sounds like. So I invite you just to take a moment and just listen to Gaia. Now her frequency will shift a little depending on each season. 7.83 is just kind of that median range that we basically hit twice per year, and it's always kind of shifting and then coming back as we travel around the sun. All celestial bodies have their own tunings as well. The moon as well. So the bowls, because they're made of 99.999% quartz, which is a very strong earth element and conductive element, will begin to resonate and vibrate. I actually feel them. I can feel them. I feel them in space. But also sometimes when I go to strike them, sometimes they'll speak and sometimes they won't. And I intuitively knew this one wasn't going to, because I could feel its energy was pulled back just a little bit right now. But in every session, that bowl will sometimes speak volumes. Other times it recedes, because the energies of what is coming through from you and what's going on in the air and the environment right now are always shifting and changing. Not only the energy that we hear, but the relationship of each bowl to that energy. It's a very complex and fascinating science that's grounded in a strong Western, it's easy to think about it from a musical theory perspective. But again, this is not a science time today. This is a time of meditation, a time of how we like to do it whenever we gather. We kind of divide our time into 3 sections. 1, we retune. 2, we release. And 3, we receive. So today, I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Michelle. Your first time here. Oh, Anik, thank you for recommending. Yes. You know, the greatest thing we can do is connect. All of life is about connection, right? So thank you for making that connection. And Michelle, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. It's lovely to meet you, my friend. Hi, Kathy. It's your first time here as well. I love it. Yeah. Hi, Gaynor, my friend. It's nice to see you, love. Yvonne, good to see you again. Oh, no, you're a different Yvonne. Oh, I'm glad to meet you, and I'm glad that you were here as well. Thank you for tuning in. So today, we really tap into this idea of what's going on in the celestial body closest to our planet, our moon, La Luna. Right now she's in a phase, her first quarter phase. It's a half moon phase. It's a time when she's growing, she's waxing. There's many cultures that divide moon phases into a variety of ways. Some ancients think of the moon as in 4 phases. Some think in 8 phases. Others think in 3 phases, which is really interesting. And I'd like to kind of connect with this 3-phase understanding of the moon right now. And they liken it much as we know to this idea of the triple goddess, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And we all have these cycles of growing, becoming empowered and strong, finding our true self, our true sense. And in that true sense, moving forward with our purpose, working through the manifestations, the desires that we have to create here in the world around us. Some call it living our dharma. Whatever that resonates with you, you know exactly what I'm speaking of, because it's this point of pure creation. And then we begin to let the things go. We begin to shift to a different part of our life, a part of release, a part where we begin to wind down. And of course, this cycle happens over the period of our entire lives. It also happens for a period of a day. We wake up in the morning feeling strong, refreshed, ready for anything. We go forth, we conquer, we make things happen. We find victories, we find joy. And then we'll savor the sweetness that we've created, that we brought into our lives. And we begin to let go so that we can begin it all anew again tomorrow. So today, in this half moon time, I'd really like to invite us to connect with this idea of the maiden. So the maiden is an energy that is unencumbered. There's no shoulds. Only can. There's limitless possibility. There's a freedom. There's the choice to dance through your life, through the energies, to play with the energy around you, to begin to manifest and bring forth things that your heart desires, that just feel happy, feel good. So I invite you now to settle in, however you will experience this practice today, actively or passively. Both are perfect. And shift your attention now to your breath. Just witness it. The rise and fall, the inhalation, the exhalation. Good. Yes. Become hypnotized by your own breath. No consideration of what needs to happen, what should happen. Just witness. in which you could find your own centeredness. So I invite you now, before we begin to look to the sky, let's really ground into the earth. I invite you to think, imagine, or feel a golden cord of light extending out of the base of your spine. Some of you may see that coming out of your first chakra, out of your sacrum, whatever's right for you. Some may prefer to drop a grounding cord into the center of the earth from the soles of your feet. You also may experience this as white light. Find what feels the best to your physical system. And just begin to drop that cord all the way down into Mother Earth. Feeling it wrap itself around a strong central point in the planet. Feeling yourself connect and root deeply. Unlike her celestial counterpart, the moon speaks and shines very softly. Sometimes we have to be quite still in order to understand the fullness of her message. So in these next moments of release, from a place of stillness within, allowing your mind to relax, release. If you find yourself distracted, just come back to the bowls. I invite you today to guide your own release. Allow your sensitivities to shift you to places that you recognize could hold a different energy. as you witness these releases. There's an intense energy in the air today, too, as the moon transits through Scorpio, a place where sometimes we think of as filled with shadow and mystery and mystique. It's also a place of great liberation, especially when we enter Scorpio's realm very gently, gracefully, with gratitude. A poison can both harm and heal. How do we choose these, what we might call poisons, that are sometimes presented to us in life? There's always a lesson. Beautiful. I invite you to return your attention to your breath. Sit in the middle of these two sounds for a moment and breathe. I invite you now to think, imagine, envision, or feel the vibration of what it is to be a maiden, youthful, exuberant, full of life. Gender doesn't matter. It's a state of mind, isn't it? It's an opportunity to feel everything is possible. The whole world is at your fingertips. What is it that you want to experience? That giddiness in the pit of your stomach, that excitement, that joy seems to flutter around like divine butterflies in your chest. The knowingness that all is well, all is safe, and all is possible. I invite you to put your attention in the center of your chest, the places where those butterflies were just flitting. Can you see them? These lovely little golden monarchs flapping their wings, filling your center part of your body with an idea that everything is possible. There are so many choices in front of you. It could almost be overwhelming, and yet it's not. It's exhilarating. Now I invite you to turn your attention to one of those beautiful monarch butterflies. Just pick one. And allow that butterfly to represent something that you are ready to bring forth into the world. Could be uplifting and positive manner. And how do we do that? Let's begin by releasing the shoulds, the coulds. Even the whys. How would it feel if your why was simply because it brought you joy? Whatever it is, you're doing this task. Your desire for this creation is simply because it brings you joy. Not because you're obligated, not because it's expected of you, but because you can. Finding our can is a powerful place from which to heal, to reconnect. Allow this delicate little butterfly friend to remind you of your can, of your joy. And just watch where the butterfly begins to move and dance with freedom, complete inhibition throughout your space. You may see it float into a certain cavern in your body. You may see it floating around you. Whatever is coming to you in your mind's eye. Follow that joy. gratitude to that sweet little creature representing an aspect of a deeper truth, a deeper joy. possibility that you are sending out into the ether. Let the universe begin to do its work. They say when we take one step towards God, God charges towards us 10 times over. The first step, ours, is always the hardest. So rejoice in this first step that you've taken. And rejoice in the community that's taking those steps, their own steps, that are just alike, only different, with you right now. No matter the time nor space, this collective forward movement, this collective expansion, this collective release to allow for full potentiality. Let that happiness begin to bubble up into your heart space. This profound sense of everything is possible, because truly it is. Limitations are man-made. There's no limiting all that is. Breathe. Breathe. Some of you may find comfort bringing one of your palms just gently in the place above your heart, or bringing your hands into prayer position. Allow the gentle beams, the unassuming beams of our sweet La Luna to begin caressing your body, feeling it on your skin. You could be inside, you could be outside, it doesn't matter. We can always connect to these gentle touches at any time, allowing the electricity that's that's reflected from our sun onto our moon, and then settling onto us on the earth. We can connect with that anytime, anywhere. And breathe. Begin to shift your physical body. Move, reawaken. Coming back into this space. So beautiful. Allowing any last minute receiving that you're wanting to bring in. Just allowing that energy, those vibrations, to gently waft into your energy centers. Or they could come flying in with a heavenly fire, however you need today. You cultivate that sense of connection. Good. Breathe. Good. Good. It's so interesting to observe the ebb and flow, much like the lunar cycle, of today's time together. And it really just occurred to me, it's much like actually what's happening on my shirt. Starting with a very strong desire to be present, to be that more solar side, the more masculine energies of being here, getting this done, manifesting this, making it happen, having a victory. Here we go, let's connect. And then all of a sudden, it almost felt like spirit went. And the bowls just really wanted to have a moment. But there was a strong invitation to sink into them. The playing became very different, how I was asked to connect with them, to move around them, to be fluid. It wasn't always the same direction. The sounds would actually shift and would ask me to shift with them. So it was a very subtle and dynamic approach that was happening, much like the sensitivity. I do this backwards. Trying to draw the moon, that didn't work. It's much like the sensitivity that the moon grants to us with her 29.5 day cycle around our planet. And it's interesting too, because I don't know if you knew this, but the moon actually could revolve around our planet 27.3 days. But it takes 29.5 because of how the Earth is moving around the sun, which I think is fascinating, because this very subtle inner-based energy of the moon, this very feminine yin-based energy, allows us to catch up in all of our doing and doing and doing. She so graciously and gently follows us into our place of being. Even though that's not necessarily just her time, she comes to us. And that's really, really powerful. And that's kind of what we saw in the bowls today too. They spoke very much into that softer side of us. And then coming back into that, finishing with that, returning us to this present moment, this more sun-based vibration that we were shifting through. I'd be curious to hear what your comments are. How was that experience for you? I know every session is so different, and I always love hearing how you were affected, because we're all in this together, and what you feel might be exactly the same as someone else in our community is feeling, and just these little God winks of connection and affirmations I find are always so valuable. So, hi Roxanne, yeah, you love the resonance. Yeah, the bowls were really interesting today. They, as I just said, they spoke in very unique ways, and they did kind of have a central point of tonality that they like to stay around. They were really gearing towards this place of the heart. They were gearing towards F major. Even if F wasn't the note that was speaking, everything else around, all the other notes around F that really support the tonality or the key of F, they were really resonating. And isn't that true for a lot of life? Sometimes it doesn't have to be the thing that gets us to the thing, but it's all these other little tiny vibrations that actually land us at the thing, whatever that could be for you. At least that's how it sometimes works for me. Oh, Yvonne, thank you so much for your donation. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Your donation means so much to me. And yeah, sometimes you said it donated, but it's not showing. Yeah, sometimes that happens on Insight Timer, and I always take the time as soon as I can after to go through and actually sit and connect with you all as well afterwards. So I'm going to look forward to connecting with you too, Yvonne. Thank you. Michelle, thank you so much for your kind donation. I appreciate that. Beautiful and recharging. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed. You know, there's something that is very recharging about the moon. I mean, there's a reason that we charge our crystals under the light of the moon, also the light of the sun, depending on the crystals. If you're unsure, look it up. But because each crystal, each portion of the earth responds differently to these two different vibrations. Sometimes you need the charge of the moon. Other times you need the charge of the sun, but not necessarily vice versa. Sometimes the sun can be too much on some of these softer, more gentle forming stones. So very interesting. Anastasia, very calming. Yes, just like the moon, right? You fell asleep. Yeah, good. There's so many ways to experience our times together. Sometimes it's very easy, and the energy that presents is a very present, active, let's get this done. Other times it's, let's just chill. So thank you for sharing your experience. Michelle, yeah, you felt very supported through sound. Sound is vibration. Love is vibration. Everything is vibration. We walk in a sea of sound every day, a sea of vibration. You know, it's interesting, from a scientific perspective, sound and light are exactly the same. They just occur in different frequencies. So in sound, it's a frequency that we hear. In light, it's a frequency that we see. There are many of us who actually see sound as colors. And there's many who hear colors as sound as well. This synesthesia, which is never an easy word to say, is that crossing of the senses, because in reality, it's all exactly the same. It's very interesting, isn't it? Victor, relaxing, calming, inspiring. Well, thank you for bringing the inspiration, my friend. It was lovely to reflect it back. Anik, oh, thank you for your kind words. Oh, I love this. I had a sense of being wrapped up and held by Gaia. You feel very much at peace. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. I think the crystal really contributes to that. I think the resonance of the bowls really, especially at this tuning, because there's other bowls that have different tunings and they have different effects on our electrical system. But this tuning, I think you're right, they really do, feels like it's giving you a sonic hug. Never a bad thing, right? Mary Lou, oh, your strongest connection was grounding into Mother Earth at the beginning. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I think we all experience celestial bodies in different ways. And the easiest and most pronounced and most important, I think, celestial being that we can really connect to is Mother Earth, is Gaia, because we are, our physical bodies are nothing more than carbon coming together, carbon created here and by Mother Earth in this. It's in this dimension. It's so fascinating. So that makes complete sense. And the moon too. I think she speaks to us in different ways. There's always this kind of subtleness that's in the air. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we're in a place where we need more of a grounding. And so I've always found when we do our moon sessions, they're actually quite interesting because we have this push and pull against this very grounded, earthy vibration, and then this very more etheric, starry kind of feel. So thank you for sharing that, Mary Lou. Yeah, so fascinating. Victor, thank you so much for your donation. Jen, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate you both. It's so good to have both of you here, and I'm excited to continue on this journey with you. We've got some more exciting lives that are coming up. I can't wait to share with you. If you want to pop over to our teachers page so you can make sure that you never miss a live. We have right now there's 2 more that are posted for this that are upcoming, but I'm about to go add a handful more. So be sure to check that out. This next live that's coming out is this upcoming Monday, August 8th, 8/8 at 8:08 a.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to be bringing in some manifesting miracles through the Lionsgate Portal. We'll be talking about the Lionsgate Portal, what that is, what that means, its history, and its effect that it can and does have on our physical bodies here on this planet, and really tapping into that. It's kind of a fun time. And me as a cat person, I just think it's fantastic. It's the Lionsgate Portal. Heck yeah. So always actually one of my favorite times of year for some reason. I just love the energy of August 8th. It's really beautiful and lovely. So, and then we have another one coming up on Wednesday as well. I believe that's at 12 p.m. also Eastern Time. And be sure to check back. We've got some more wonderful programming. So thank you so much for being here. Anik, yes, I look forward to seeing you too. Much love to you as well, my friend. Michelle, my pleasure of holding the space. That's what I'm here for. I'm so glad you were here. Blessings to you all. And as we close our time together today, may you always recognize the subtle grace with which you walk. May you always feel a subtle grace coming to you from above. May the fire within always light your path and project your intentions forward with ease, effortless, magical manifestation. For you are important. You matter. You make a difference. And you are so very loved. I'll see you next time, my friends. Until then, Sat Nam.